Morning of day 8. So over a week on the trail now. Pretty psyched about that. I guess just a week now. And it was definitely a cold night last night at Deep Gap Shelter. I had rime ice around my tent stakes this morning, so that formed overnight, and more than a little bit of it. So it's definitely cold. But my gear held up fine. What I have is more than enough for 20-degree weather, but it's hard to stay settled in the right position in the right spot so that I stay warm and that the hammock lines upright so that the warm spots are where I need them. So at high teens, 20 degrees, it was fine. But I wouldn't have wanted like a high wind or something. That would have made it probably not warm enough. I think my underquilt is it's rated 20 degrees, and I think that's really its low point. Usually ratings like that, you have to take off some degrees, but it seems to do pretty well at 20. I put the pad in as well, for those of you who are into that stuff, and that's why it's so hard to keep organized. Pad inside the quilt, inside the hammock, underquilt, sleeping bag, it's a lot, and you just, every time you move, something ends up cold. So anyway, learning. I'm going to be getting off trail, like I think I've been saying. Feeling weird about that because I know I've got the ability to do the mileage, and everybody out here is just plowing through it, but that's not why I came. I didn't come to be cold and wet and miserable. And, you know, frankly, to risk hypothermia, which I'm maybe too conscious of, having done search and rescue. I think if everything else goes right and it's just the conditions, you'll be fine. But if something else goes wrong, you twist an ankle or you get COVID or, you know, I guess, what's not Giardia, what's the thing that goes around on cruise ships? I guess that goes around on the trail quite a bit. You know, so I wouldn't want any two of those things to happen at the same time. So I'm going to continue to be cautious. It'll be a couple days off, which is a bummer, but there's no way to keep going and then get off trail. So I got to get off trail today. So I'll have more to say later today. I took a little side trail out to Powell Mountain Vista. I'll try to give you a little bit of a view of it. It's just gorgeous. It's about 9:30 in the morning. That chilly wind is back, but not quite as bad as yesterday. But it's like yesterday, continue to layer up, delayer, layer up, delayer. It's just hard to manage, you know, not being cold, but also not sweating. And really important. It makes all the difference. So really pretty out here. I will tell you that area that I was in yesterday, my shuttle driver, Gracie, who's awesome, by the way, highly recommend her, in the Unicoi area. She said that the area that I was hiking in yesterday is where they shot Deliverance. So Mike, you know who you are. You promised if I needed you on the trail, all I had to do was call. I have to say yesterday I had you on speed dial, but all is good. Just had a really nice conversation with a guy named Fred from the Georgia chapter, I would call it, of the Appalachian Trail Council. Might not be exactly the right terms, but I'm close. You get the gist. And they have these trail ambassadors that are out sort of checking on people, and I'm sure in no small part trying to minimize the amount of search and rescue work that has to go on because people are unprepared. So asking lots of questions and being sure, you know, what gear people are carrying, what level of experience they have. Anyway, it was definitely very much eager to know what the plans are for the storm that's coming on Thursday. And when I told him I had begrudgingly decided to get off trail, he made me feel a lot better about that decision. I think it's not trivial, and probably not at all a good idea to be out here, even though a lot of people are planning to. So I feel a little better about the fact that I'm going to lose a couple days, and just gotta deal with Mother Nature. So a very cool turn of events this afternoon. I got to the hostel, which was only about a 4-mile hike, and checked in. Super nice people. It's called the Around the Bend Hostel outside of Hiawassee. For those of you who are interested, I highly recommend it. Super nice couple. They kind of just opened their home up, turned it into, I would call it a very nice B&B. And all the common areas are for everybody. The kitchen, there's TV, They've got all kinds of resupply stuff. The shuttle, I mean, it's just great. And they've recently left their full-time jobs to make this their full-time job. And it's going to get really good reviews. Sweet place. And they said, hey, why don't we shuttle you up 5 or 6 miles up trail, and you can walk back, and you will knock off that part of the hike, and you can start that much further on Friday when you get back at it. So that was not a hard decision. So they gave me a little backpack, threw my water, 1 or 2 things in it, and I'm just trekking the 6 miles back to the hostel, which will probably take 2 hours, and I'll be that much further ahead on Friday morning. So really, really great afternoon. It's beautiful, and what a nice turn of events. This is officially the first trail magic I have seen. This is all kinds of peanut butter and crackers and stuff that's been left by Lolly and Fly Pop, just for hikers who happen to come this way. Isn't that sweet? And I guess this happens all along the trail. I'm heading back down, getting a ride to the hostel, so I'm not going to partake, but I appreciate what they've done. It's awesome. It's the end of day 8. I'm comfortably in my room here at the hostel around the bend, and going to be here for the next 2 days, which will be 0 days, but was able to do 10 miles of trail today. And while the weather is terrible, I'm going to be nice here and comfortable and warm. So all good. I'll be back on the trail hopefully on Friday, and I'm feeling increasingly like this was the right decision. So today's closer is from a friend's son, Ollie, and it's rated PG. So any of you who are concerned about that potential rating, hit stop now. But this is apparently Ollie's favorite joke. Ollie is our friend's son. I think I would call him a tween. So I think that gives you some context here. But this is Ollie's favorite joke, and it was sent in to me, and I have to put it in because, So it goes like this. How do you get a squirrel out of a tree? You show it your nuts.